Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Keep watching in order to learn more. Hello Ragers, I hope that you're all doing well. Now, I'm going to be brutally honest with you all. As a real fashion enthusiast, I have quite the fragile individuality complex and I'm quite fond of gatekeeping. I also hate seeing people I don't like talk about stuff that I like. So, when I woke up on the morning of November 15th and saw this tweet about a pair of Undercover jeans releasing at ComplexCon and the comments being filled with the most painfully unaware people I've had the displeasure of viewing, I knew I had to make a video about this to financially compensate myself for the brain cells I had lost reading comments saying Undercover is copying N's RP. I apologize for this seemingly delusional title and intro rant, but it'll all make sense soon. Basically, I wanted to go over the Undercover jeans incident and transition into talking about the notion of archive beasts as a whole, including people who are unaware of the history and significance of certain brands or garments, and how this coincides with the mindless overconsumption promoted by replica clothing hauls. These are all things I've wanted to talk about for a while now, and it just makes more sense to me to incorporate them all into one video rather than stretching them out into multiple shorter ones. But anyway, like the video now and stick around. But first, here's a quick word from today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace exists in order to help people with creative ideas stand out and succeed. Whether it's through using their intuitive website builder or through their many commerce and blogging features, Squarespace has all the tools you need to fulfill your creative desires. With specific regard to the commerce features, Squarespace offers a variety of unique templates to help make your storefront stand out. On top of a plethora of features that make it easy for you to sell your products or services, Squarespace can also greatly assist with the logistics side of things, as well as marketing. They offer so much and make the whole process very user-friendly. Squarespace really does serve as an all-encompassing publishing platform that helps its users in so many different ways. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're all set, head to squarespace.com/FHTV to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain using code FHTV. Link in the description below. Our story begins with the third impact of the fashion world. Undercover, an obviously beloved, highly regarded Japanese punk Americana-influenced brand that is past its prime but still releases a few heaters every now and again, had begun posting garments and collabs that would be sold during ComplexCon on November 19th and 20th. These featured a few shirts, hoodies, and a varsity jacket, all featuring callbacks and references to previous releases as a nice bit of fan service. However, the worst was yet to come. On November 14th, they would announce that they would be releasing some heavy distressed denim pants, which obviously very closely resemble the Undercover 85s, and Undercover is known for making great denim, so to me this makes sense. But with this post gaining over 300 comments in only 11 hours, it was evident that something was amok. Few brave souls dared enter the Undercover Instagram comment section that day, and even fewer made it out alive. Content warning for those who are easily offended, this is not for the faint of heart. When opening the comments, right away we were met with people saying that these comments are giving them secondhand embarrassment, which is never a good sign. Upon digging deeper, we can see some common themes here, with some fans of the brand expressing their concerns for the distressing of the jeans, or wondering why they're releasing at ComplexCon of all places. But that isn't even the worst of it. More than a few people began commenting that these jeans were inspired by the likes of N's RP and How Cole, which is easily the most brain-dead thing I've seen in a while. A critical lack of awareness was emanating from this comment section in many regards, and it is evident that the TikTok audience has taken over. Thankfully, people were being corrected and put in their place, but this highlights a few grander issues that myself and others have noticed in this realm of fashion recently. Now, of course I'm being dramatic, and this really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, and I have nothing against How Cole and N's RP. Without a doubt, they are the ones winning from this situation, since this is all attracting attention to their brand, and I've given in and fallen into the same trap since I'm here talking about it. Sammy Toro fed into it as well, posting about the situation, where he stated, "What was even more confusing and hilarious for this was the slew of comments suggesting that Undercover was copying the designs of How Cole, who produces 85 inspired denim under his brand N's RP. Naturally, the archive community had something to say about the naivety. This comment section is why I continue to say TikTok has ruined fashion," said one, while another pleaded, "Somebody please get these TikTok kids." Of course, nothing in fashion is original. Undercover's 85 is in turn a nod to punk crust pants of the past, but it seems the archive community are doing their part to gatekeep for a reason, as a way to encourage novice fashion fans to broaden their knowledge beyond the face value of what they see on TikTok. And that makes sense. Cole also posted about this on his story multiple times, and in the past Cole has done other shenanigans for attention, such as photoshopping fake cease and desist letters from Undercover for his brand. Anyway, this incident serves to highlight the amount of unawareness in the fashion scene right now. Of course, it is always expected that there will be a few ill-informed or oblivious people in the comment section speaking their minds and acting like they know everything, but this instance specifically struck a nerve with quite a few people. I just find it very ironic that fans of brands like N's RP are commenting this sort of stuff. Obviously, N's was highly inspired by Undercover, and it's not hard to arrive at that conclusion. The influence of Undercover is still seen so heavily throughout what's popular today, whether it's individual aesthetics or certain motifs, like of course heavily distressed denim. NZRP is not the only one doing this stuff, they just so happen to be caught in the crossfire and the easiest example right now. But anyway, the TikTok pilled NZRP writers, claiming that they did it first and that ENZ has the game in a chokehold right now is quite comical to me. This is all in good fun, of course, and at the end of the day it's entertaining, and I know Cole and his associates are self-aware. It's more so the people commenting on behalf of the brands that are sort of going a bit crazy or speaking out of line on subjects that they know nothing about. This basically serves to highlight the notion of TikTok fashion-brained archive beasts. Archive is definitely a buzzword now, it can mean a variety of different things. Traditionally, I used to view it as a means to describe like historically significant or impactful pieces, whether it's cool Raf Simons or Margiela, but recently the word has become transformative and taken on new meanings as more and more people steer away from streetwear and head towards the cooler, more underground, low-key hip brands like Rick Owens. Thanks to TikTok and such, archive has more or less become synonymous with the underground scene. It is no longer about the significance and impact of given pieces, but more so about a certain aesthetic. Popular mood boards have helped contribute to this too. Like if you see a picture of Young Thug adjusting a model's look, one might say, that is so archive. Anyway, archive beasts have become the new hype beasts in my eyes. Since we're all tapped in and in the know, this has been clear for a while. An obvious example that highlights people falling down the high fashion pipeline pertains to when many individuals started switching from maining Jordan 1s and Dunks as their daily drivers to now wearing Rick Owens Ramones. Much to our disdain, of course, but I view this as a sort of natural progression in general. Streetwear and luxury have been mixing for some time now, and our favorite musical talents have gone from wearing expensive streetwear pieces to now more cool items like 2016 Vetements. Again, this is another instance of a fashion cycle. That era Vet, like the Champion collab and Titanic hoodie, were hype within hypebeast culture at the time that they were released, but since it's had time to cool off and the landscape has changed, it's now desirable again, but in a different, more archive way, thus leading to people purchasing said items without necessarily knowing the historical significance of the items that they're wearing. They just want to fit in or keep up with the in aesthetic or appearance. This is something we talked about in my previous video. People often long for a sense of belonging and do whatever it takes to involve themselves in a certain subculture or whatever it may be. And in fashion, this can be seen through people switching their style to match whatever is in trend at the time. Now, one thing that makes it harder to do in this regard is the price point of some of these garments. OG 85 Undercover jeans, for instance, go for thousands and are harder to come by. To us, they may be played out already, but to some just joining the scene, they may be the key item that they hope will gain them acceptance from the community at large. However, this barrier to entry and often gatekeeping ethos within fashion leads us to the next topic of people gaming the system and buying mass amounts of archive replica clothing for the sole purpose of fitting in. Just to make it clear, this video is for educational purposes only, and I, nor my generous benefactors, condone the purchase of replica clothing. But this is something that has rapidly grown thanks to the likes of fashion reps, quality reps, and TikTok and YouTube replica influencers. Buying replica clothing greatly mitigates the barrier to entry to fashion, but it promotes unhealthy notions of overconsumption and basically leads to everyone dressing the same. I saw a TikTok the other day of someone going on some website that highlighted every piece of clothing that Playboy Cardi was wearing, and then he proceeded to show off links for fake clothes of every piece. Massive haul reviews have been an issue as well, which highlight the bias towards quantity over quality. This is a problem with Shein hauls and stuff too, but specifically for reps of archive pieces, I feel as if it greatly hinders the importance and appreciation for actual archive or famous clothing pieces. There's just something about actually going to a nice store, feeling the fabrics and taking in the atmosphere. Working hard, saving up, and purchasing a grail is a great feeling and something many people take pride in. Reps serve as a means to bypass pretty much all of that, so you can see how some problems may arise. I've talked about it before and I'll say it again, but buying reps is a personal choice. As long as you aren't annoying me or selling them as real, I don't really have a problem with it. People can justify it saying that they would rather just buy reps than pay retail or resale prices, but again, that is for you to decide. Don't let someone on the internet influence your opinion, especially if they have a Rick Owens Chrome Hearts Wojak profile picture. All in all, the main concerns pertain to people buying reps and not knowing how to dress, and notions of overconsumption and mindless consumption that stem from this. Basically, if you're buying something, you should try to actively think about your reasoning behind why you want it, and not just impulse buy it because someone on TikTok posted about it. A while ago, we had the great Rep Wars debate, and I've spoken on the grander issue a few times now, so I feel as if I've said my piece on the topic, and I don't really feel the need to talk about it any longer than I already have. All in all, to quickly recap everything, I value information and education, and I think that it's important to know what you're talking about before you speak on it on an Instagram comment section if you don't want to be called out. Always consider the influences of underground brands. Chances are what they're doing is nothing new and has been done infinitely better in the past, and don't just mindlessly consume things because you saw someone on TikTok buy it, and make sure to like and subscribe to the FHTV channel. But yeah, I think that's it for me. I just wanted to make a more informal video addressing those things in a traditional commentary YouTuber style. Next video will surely be more informative. Later, Ragers.